Bart and I have become dear friends over the years, and he texted me out of the blue probably a year ago maybe, and said, can you keep a secret? And I said, no, of course not. I can't get, what are you talking about, you know? And he's like, no, seriously. And I was like, well, yeah, if you tell me something, like I'll keep it close to the chest for it, you know?
The sequel to the first I Can Only Imagine film comes years later. This is the next chapter inspired by the hit single, Even If.
I'll always say it's very rare as an actor to get to do a true story. It's even more rare to get to do a true story about a real person, and even more rare about someone who's still alive. And, Bart's still healthy and kicking, so we get to share those moments together.
It was back in 2018 that the original film took place. In December 2024, a sequel was announced to be in development, directed by Brent McCorkle and Andrew Irwin, from a script written by McCorkle. The story will follow the continued life events of Bart Millard.
I really like Brent McCorkle, who, co-wrote the first one, did Jesus Revolution. He's the writer-director on this, and so Brent and I got together, and he goes, well, just tell me where the song came from. And once I did, Brent realized, man, that's the story. And he goes, and wouldn't it be insane if we brought characters back?
Today we're going to take you behind the scenes of this film and share all the most exciting backstage moments.
This movie, The Symmetry, was really about that it was a story of a father towards his son. So in this movie, Bart is really struggling with his own son because of circumstances that are out of their control. And really, we break that world.
But before we get into more of these moments, today's trivia question. Dennis Quaid stars as Arthur Miller in this film. What was his first film role? Leave your answers in the comments down below and stick around till the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
But I was elated immediately to hear that they wanted to get the gang back together, because it had been quite a bit of time.
It's a movie that stands on its own, I think, and it's also so much part of Bart's life, full circle. He played the son, now he's the dad.
I don't know if there's a lot of sequels to biopics, so I didn't know I would be here again, Millard says with a laugh. As a songwriter in a band, it's toxicating anytime an audience connects with your story.
It was a tough thing for Bart to accept it, I think. And it's a beautiful thing, and surrender, I think. Because God sets up everything, all the pieces for us. We just got to make the move that he's saying, hey.
The sequel picks up shortly after the events of the first movie, as Bart Millard is riding high on the chart-topping success of Mercy Me's I Can Only Imagine, but his world caves in when he and his wife receive the devastating diagnosis that their young son, Sam, has been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
I really resonate with Sam as a person even, and I feel like there's a lot of similarities between us that are really important to my life. I know that's a fact. That I really resonate with the story and his connection with his dad and how that can affect. I think a lot of people can.
In an interview, Ventimiglia and Timmons shared the journey of both preparing for the role and filming it. I put him through extensive training and he nailed it, the Starts With Me singer says.
So yeah, I think this movie is important because of its themes, and its themes are trusting, even in the fires, even in the storms, and having gratitude through all of the hard parts of your life, not just the fun, blissful parts.
He had such an amazing time with I Can Only Imagine 8 years ago. The idea of going back we didn't think was possible, Irwin said. But Bart and Mercy Me keep living an interesting life.
I basically just showed up here. The part I could feel Arthur, and it was very dear to me, even though I never met him. He was a real person. And, Bart was on the set, in fact, when we were shooting the first one. And it was like, Arthur did some awful things.
And we found out the story behind the song, Even If, and all the things that kind of came out of it, Irwin said. And it was such an amazing story, and involved Tim Timmons and this amazing father-son story with Bart and his son and the writing of that song.
The first time I met Tim Timmons, we were at a writer's retreat together. And I went over to shake his hand, and he noticed my tattoo, and he's like, "Why do you have an X on your wrist?" I was like, "I don't know. Why do you have an X on your wrist?" And I got this for a completely different reason, but when he told me his story about why he draws an X on his wrist, that was the first conversation that Tim and I ever had in our entire lives.
Everybody deals with sorrow, Timon said, so it's just a movie inviting people into hanging out with Jesus in the midst of their sorrow with grief and gratitude.
When we meet Shannon in the first movie, who was portrayed beautifully by Madeleine Carroll, she is in college, as you guys would call it. And so we kind of pick up a little bit where we left off in that we see a bit of younger Shannon. She's a new mother. And she and Bart, we see their relationship as we left it, where it's kind of like a puppy love phase.
We've got an incredible cast, a powerful story to tell, and a lot of coffee fueling us behind the scenes, Irwin continued. Millard said, "I don't have Dennis Quaid this time around. I'm the dad learning how to have a relationship with my son and do it right. It's a beautiful story. I love the script. It turned out so great."
She's also trying to let everybody be free and do their thing, but also keep the nest together. So she's really having to trust Bart and Sam to kind of look after themselves, but she's kind of just trying to keep the family together and be the rock.
In the very beginning of production, Downs said, "The addition of Milo to the cast to play Tim Timmons is going to be so extraordinary. That dude is so all in. We're pinching ourselves. It's just going to have to be one of those fun experiences to film because we know the movie is going to be good."
We see just this phone call that changes his mood and totally lights up his morning, which he shares with his wife, Hillary. And, from there, it's just this ride of excitement. Tim's joining a tour.
In another interview, Millard was asked what it was like to step back into this world, to which he said, "I love how much ground we cover. I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, we cover everything from type 1 diabetes to birth in the family to loss of faith to trauma."
I really hope this movie calls people into a deeper love and a deeper trust in love. I think in this modern culture, me included, we suffer from a lack of gratitude because somehow we think all of our days should be easy, and that's not promised to us.
Dennis Quaid answered the same question with, "I stepped into it with a lot of fear and trepidation because I loved the first movie so much, and we found a way in to tell the rest of the story that completes it."
The spiritual guide for Bart's journey is this lovable kind of character named Tim Timmons. And he's struggling to write this song called Even If, and he can't figure out how to finish it. And that becomes kind of the catalyst for the story that we're telling.
He also answered a question regarding playing a real-life person, of which he responded, "The fun thing for me is not only was I getting to know Tim, just human-to-human level, but I was also trying to quietly study him without letting him know I was studying him."
Hillary is so warm and very engaged, like great eye contact, really just kind of makes you feel like warm and comfortable. And I think she's like very interested in people, like she's a people person.
And as far as the answer to our trivia question, back in 1975, his first role was in Crazy Mama as the bellhop, even though he was uncredited for that role.
Bart's the lead singer of a band. He's used to the attention, and I think seeing someone else grab the attention. I think what's also more important is Tim kind of has the personality that maybe Bart wishes he had.
But we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What do you think about all these moments? Which one was your favorite? And did you even expect them to release a sequel at all?
But Tim kind of plays the light in the darkness of our film. And what you don't know is he's got his own stuff going on. And no one understands any of that. And Bart, of course, has no clue. And at this point in Bart's life, he hates it. And so it's this really good conflict that we have going on.
Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
At every stage, we wanted to feel designed as to break the world that we finished in the first movie and then heal it in a much more satisfying way. And so there's beautiful symmetry in this film to tell Bart's story. So like The first movie was a beautiful redemption story about this journey between a son towards his father.